5 o'clock or like 4 a.m. are peak workout hours. You just
That's
gotta
the
fight
best
that.
time to work out. You just gotta get up.
And you
Yeah.
gotta fight that 6 to 8. Like from 6 to 8, you are dead tired.
But I think it'll work well for my schedule because I get home so late. And I don't feel like
That'd
working
be the
out.
damn
So
problem.
I may just like start
All
doing
right,
that.
I'm about to tweet this. Y'all can go retweet this. Hold on, let me go to the right account. There we go.
All right.
Um, 271. Vegas 48. Eve. And I'll say we're talking. What just got canceled? Oh,
Islam.
It's your Makachev and
I gotta fucking spell
Dariush.
that right for a hashtag. Hold on, let me spell it right.
That's gonna be a great fight.
Makachev's gonna cook me. Dariush Makachev. All right, the tweet is up. We tweet it from my Twitter.
All right, just hit the retweet.
Yep. All right, whenever y'all ready, I can jump us off.
All right, let's roll.
All right. I want to welcome everybody back to episode 14 of the Underhooks podcast. We got a special guest in the building, somebody who was also in the building for UFC 271, just like I was. My good friend G-Day is on the pod. G-Day, how you doing today, bro?
How y'all doing, man? I was in the building. Great seats, by the way.
Your seat's stunning on mine. When you sent me the picture of your seats, I was salty, bro. I can see more from your seats in the little picture than I can see from Robert sitting, bro. I didn't like that.
Dude, I saw Dana White walking around, man, with his bald head.
You should have slapped him.
It was a little bit further away, though. But
of course.
It was so funny when I got to my seat, right? There was like dudes sitting on my seat. People weren't supposed to be there. They were just sitting on my seat. So I walked there and said, "Hey, dude, I think you're my seat." Wait, let me check. Oh man, you're right, dog. Get it out. I'm
good.
Like, yeah, right.
He ain't want no smoke.
Careful at these events. It might have been some racism. I told T to having a mindful eye in the building.
It could have got nasty in there. I moved up a couple rows, and I thought I was just going to be there for just the early prelims and the prelims, but nobody came. So I moved up a couple rows. I got to sit in my seat. It might have been because they saw me. They realized they didn't really want these problems, so it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. They didn't want these problems. So we're going to talk all about 271, of course. But before that, I want to get some news out the way. First of all, before the main event of 271, we got some news that Izzy has signed his new contract with UFC. This fight with Whitaker was going to be his last fight in his contract. So he signed a new deal that's going to make him one of the highest paid martial artists in history. And the rumor is that he's now the second highest paid fighter in the UFC, of course, behind Conor McGregor. So a big deal for Izzy. Obviously, after the Francis thing and the way that has all played out, Dana did not want to let a champion walk into that octagon to fight his last fight with no, with no, basically, he's not sure what's going to happen afterwards and how the negotiation is going to go. So they got the Izzy Adesanya thing done.
On
Black History Month, Izzy got paid. I guess everybody is happy.
But the thing is about that, like they don't really release the details of their contract, which again speaks to the shadiness of Dana, right? Like he doesn't want you to know how much people are getting paid.
Yep.
But it's still just, I don't know, man. I feel like I have issues with Izzy. I love Izzy as a fighter, but I feel like he's so much of a company guy that he could be getting paid pennies and he could still just be like, this is a major deal for us.
Yep.
So I'm happy for him, but I have some reservations.
The we also found out, unfortunately, that our main event that was supposed to take place this Saturday, which was going to be RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos, and Fazeev, got postponed. It's now going to be the co-main event of 272. It's going to remain a 5-round fight. That event's on 3-5. And this happened because Fazeev had some visa issues. So he had to take care of some visa issues. So basically the fight got pushed back a couple of weeks.
There's a war starting in Russia and Ukraine, so I think that might have to impact it.
It's some nasty stuff going on. So we're lucky that this fight didn't get canceled altogether. It's been put on 272, which makes 272 absolutely stacked. We're excited for RDA Fazeev. That fight's going to be a war. But this weekend, we are left with a new main event, which is going to be at light heavyweight. It's going to be Jamal Hill and Johnny Walker for the main event, and that's going to take place this Saturday. And we will get to that when we get there. At the end of the podcast, we'll make picks. But Johnny Walker is number 10 lightweight in the world, and Jamal Hill is number 12 lightweight in the world. So that should be pretty fun. Also, another fight just got called off minutes before we started recording today. The Dariush Islam Makhachev fight that was going to take place on the 26th of February is now off because Dariush hurt his ankle. The early word is that Islam might stay on this card and fight somebody else, but I don't know who in that division wants to take on Islam on 2 weeks' notice. But I got some suggestions. My biggest suggestion is Michael Chandler. Dariush and Islam are 3 and 4. Michael Chandler's 5 in the rankings. Michael Chandler loves to get on Twitter and talk about how other people handle their business, how other people should fight, how other people should negotiate. And Michael Chandler is the biggest company man in the organization. You really want to help Dana out, my friend? Get in there with Islam Makhachev on 2 weeks' notice. You lost your last 2 fights. You go beat Islam. We'll talk about you for title again, bro. Take the fight, Michael Chandler. Don't be a coward.
Michael Chandler, do not listen to these people. I know that CTE is still rattling around in your brain from that Justin Gaethje fight. My brother, y'all ignore the tweets. That man is not in his right state of mind. Do not take this fight, Michael Chandler, or you are going to be out of the UFC, bro.
Michael Chandler, if you don't take this fight, you are a coward. Save the main event, please. Some other people I got on my list. Tony Ferguson, number 7 in the world. He would get absolutely destroyed in that ring. Tony Ferguson, please don't take this fight. Tony Ferguson, stay away from the octagon, please. Thank you so much.
No, Tony Ferguson, I would like that. Let's go ahead and get him out of the dirt. He is the Notre Dame of UFC fighting.
The Notre Dame.
Tony would actually take that fight, honestly.
He would.
I think he would, and I hope that he is way far off weight because he don't need to be in that ring with somebody like Islam Makhachev. That would be disgusting. Don't do it, bro. The way Dariush did you, mostly on the feet, you don't want to go on there with Islam, bro. So, Tony Ferguson, I got Gregor Gillespie at number 9. We ain't seen Gregor Gillespie in a million years. It's time for Gregor Gillespie to get back in there. And I got somebody sent me this to our Underhooks account. Gamrot at number 12. A very slick boxer. Has looked great in his last couple of fights. Put Gamrot in there. Do I think he can beat Islam Makhachev? No. Do I want to see him try? Yes, I do. I would love to see that. Y'all got any other suggestions for who should go in there with Islam? Because somebody needs to get their ass in there, bro. We need to save
Absolutely.
the fight.
There's really nobody good. I'm like, I literally had to click the rankings. I'm like, damn, I don't want to see any of these.
A couple guys obviously already have fights, but this is a huge fight that's not going to be made anymore, at least not now, because this was probably going to be the number 1 contender fight for who got the shot after Charlie Olives and Justin Gaethje settled their business. This is going to be a number 1 contender fight. So it kind of puts the Dana in a weird spot, and it puts Islam in a weird spot because he was 1 win away from getting a title shot. Who are you going to put in there so I can continue to be 1 win away for a title shot? It's got to be somebody of note. That's why it should be Michael Chandler. If he beats Michael Chandler, we can put him in a title shot next.
Well, I don't think Chandler's going to take that fight.
Me neither, because he's a coward.
He's not going to take that fight. What Dana could do is he wants to springboard Makhachev. So just save Makhachev for the winner of the Charlie Olives versus Gaethje fight, and it'll fight the winner. You know, that's what Dana's going to do. You know, that way Makhachev takes less damage, you'll be fresh, and that's a big fight you could make because he wants to make him the Khabib number 2.
Yes,
that's the goal.
It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what they do with this event, and if Islam falls off, I think you're right. We could just be at a spot where Islam doesn't fight again until he gets that title shot. I hope it's not that, but it could definitely be that. Islam has looked impressive enough.
Unless another top 5 fighter totally impresses their next fight, like I'm talking about, just some dude just comes in, knocks somebody out in the first round. That's the only way they're going over Islam. But I think Islam has got a beeline for that, title shot, regardless if fights that reach or not.
It's looking nasty because obviously Gaethje's number 1. He's already got his shot lined up. Poirier's number 2. Poirier just lost the title shot. Dariush is number 3, of course. He's the one who pulled out of this fight. Islam's number 4. Chandler's number 5. So Islam might be sitting pretty because nobody in the top 5 really has a chance to go and press and take a title shot from him. So he might be smart to stand pat, but
unless you do a DP versus JG number 2.
Oh, well, you
that's
could.
an intriguing fight right there.
You could.
Because DP won the first one. It was a good fight.
Yep.
That's an angle they could go to sell tickets.
We would all love to watch that fight. They sell 1 million tickets. And that person, whoever wins that fight, I don't care what happens, they're going back into the title shot. So that would be bad for Islam unless Islam has already got a shot lined up. But we'll see.
Well, I think Islam got a shot.
We'll see what happens at lightweight, but that got announced today, so we'll see how they change on the fly. Saim Nurmagomedov, who a couple weeks ago looked very good in the octagon, has been signed up to fight Brian Kelleher next, which is a great step up in competition for him, which is what he was asking for. He wanted to step up in competition. He's about to get it. Brian Kelleher is a very good fighter. Excited to see that fight. I don't have the date written down, but that fight's been booked. My son Shavkat Rakhmonov is tired of being compared to Chimaev, and he says he wants to fight Michael Fajeda next summer, or this summer, I should say. Sign me up for that fucking fight. But Michael Fajeda is crazy as hell. Shavkat Rakhmonov can't lose. 15 fights, 15 finishes. Sign me up, bro. Somebody's going home sad. I want to see it. I need to see it.
I do.
I'm going to watch him fight Neil.
You want to fight Neil? I would love to see him fight Neil, but it seems like they don't want to put Neil in there with nobody. They ain't even want to put Chimaev in there with Neil. And the damn sure wasn't to protect Chimaev. I'll tell you that much. Let's see. It seems like this comes up every week on this podcast, but Nate Diaz says he wants to fight Dustin Poirier, which he's been saying for a while, but he wants this to be his last fight. He wants to be done. This is the last fight on his UFC contract, so he's just trying to get his last fight done with. He wants it to be Dustin, and Dustin every time has said, yes, I'll agree to fight you, but for whatever reason, Dana is not making this fight, so this is still ongoing.
Great money fight, but like nobody wants to watch Nate get destroyed. Like that, Dustin will absolutely destroy that man. That is not a good fight at all.
I need to see it. I do think that he will lose the fight, but if he don't lose the fight, I'm gonna have the time of my life. I'm gonna be slandering DP on this podcast. But yeah, DP should cook him. That's why DP is so eager for the fight, because not only am I going to cook you, it's guaranteed to make a lot of money. So it makes a lot of sense for Poirier. Let me go get a win under my belt, get some confidence back after what happened to me in the championship fight. It makes perfect sense. But maybe Dana is thinking like you, because he damn sure not trying to set up this fight. He doesn't care about this fight at all. And he knows it'll make money. He don't give a shit. I think it's more of he doesn't want to lose Nate Diaz and let Nate Diaz walk out the door and go do boxing, whatever the fuck Nate Diaz wants to go do.
I think the best thing, though, is for that fight, all right, if it does happen, let that happen, and then let Dustin move up the division. I really want to see him move up, and then he's talked about it so many times of how he wanted to finish his division at a division up. You don't have anybody in that division to fight Usman or Kobe at this point, so why not?
I would love that. Put him right in title shot, up a division.
I would watch Kobe and Dustin DP 1,000,000 times over.
Facts. But didn't Dustin say something this week or last week that he would never, ever, ever fight Kobe for money because he might get arrested or some shit? Like, he really hates Kobe. I mean, everybody does. But
everybody. But yeah.
He said, I would never fight Kobe on a fight card because I don't want Kobe to make money off this thing. He said, if I fight him, it's got to be outside the octagon.
That's giving Khabib Conor vibes. Khabib said,
I will
never fight Conor again. Khabib said, I know how much money Conor made off fighting me. I'm going to never fight that man again. I'm not letting him make money. Even if I'm beating his ass, I don't care. He's not making money for that. That's
when
real.
You ready to take money out of another man's family's mouth? You really about that smoke.
That's real. That's real hatred, bro.
That's real hatred.
I won't even kick that man for money. I won't even punch him in the face for money. I don't want that nigga to make $1, bro. Sorry, Dana. No. What else? We got a new fight set up. Curtis Blades is got a fight now. The best wrestler in the heavyweight division is going to fight Dawkins. You remember Dawkins? He just got cooked by Derek Lewis a couple months ago.
Come on,
bro! I just fell asleep with you announcing this. I do not want to watch Curtis fight ever again in my life. I'm so over the whole heavyweight division. Even after what happened this weekend, I do not care about the heavyweight division anymore.
Curtis Blades is so fascinating because he's just like the wrestling hurdle for everybody in the heavyweight division. Can you beat a wrestler? Yes or no? I love that. I don't know why. I love it, bro. I love that Curtis Blades is only a can you wrestle yes or no check mark, and that's his entire career. I love that. It's fascinating to me. Stefan hates watching Curtis Blades fight.
No, the crazy thing is, I love the wrestling component of UFC. I think it's one of the most underrated, underappreciated things. But the thing is, it's only really good when you have like two wrestlers, or you have somebody that's so insanely dominant that you're like, when you see Khabib, like I think about every time when he fought DP and DP came to the sideline, he was like, I can't keep this motherfucker off me. You know how like wild that is? But like if it's just like these sloppy heavyweight guys that are getting easily taken down and they're not doing anything, I do not want to watch that, bro.
Well, Kyle's the smaller brother. Chris Dawkins, I think his name is going to go on there with Curtis Blades next. We also got Angela Hill's next fight's going to be against Viva Jandiroba. Angela Hill really needs a win. She's been on the wrong side of a few decisions, and it's not going well for her right now. She really needs to win. But Virna Jandiroba is also a monster. That fight's going to be pretty fascinating.
Angela Hill going to lose that fight. I'm sorry. Is that fight?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. During Black History Month, because that's kind of racist. She gonna get cut.
Luckily, I think it's next month. Luckily, thank God.
I was about to say, if Dana cut a black woman during Black History Month, we got to go riot, though.
It might be on 272 if I remember correctly. I'll double check that as we go along. But yeah, she's got her next fight set up.
I'm sorry, she got to give it up. Big commentator, bit. I'm sorry.
I got the best news of the day. Did y'all know that Sydney Sweeney does MMA? Did y'all know this?
Who's Sydney
Sweeney?
Did
not know this.
If you didn't know who Sydney Sweeney is, an actress. She's most famously right now on Euphoria. She plays Cassie on Euphoria. She is a big MMA fan, and she does MMA. And if there's video of her doing MMA, please send it to us directly at theunderhookspod.com. We would like to see it just to check out, her striking form and that kind of stuff. We love Sydney Sweeney on this podcast.
She's just a deviant.
But it's Black History Month, so we're not going to say too much. But we're glad that she loves MMA. Kayla Harrison is still a free agent. Kayla Harrison, it looks like it's going to come down to PFL re-signing her, which looked like it was about to be a sealed deal, but it's not sealed yet because it looks like Bellator has come in with a bigger offer. And the biggest fight that she can make right now, because Nunes lost, which was going to be the biggest fight she can make. So the biggest fight is available to her right now in any organization is probably against Cyborg, who is the Bellator champion of her division. And if Kayla Harrison signs with Bellator, they're going to announce Cyborg Kayla Harrison probably the next day or the next week. Is going to be huge, and I need it to happen. I would love to see her fight somebody who actually is good because there's nobody good enough in the PFL. They keep having to pay her $1 million because she wins these tournaments very easy because there's nobody else in the PFL that can hang with Kayla Harrison. So I want to see it. I want to see her fight Cyborg. Let's see if she's really legit, and let's get it popping, Bellator. Go get it done.
Oh, speaking of Bellator, right? They have an event in mid-April.
I was just about to say this.
Oh,
this
go
is a
ahead.
Great segue. No, go ahead.
I'm gonna let you. So the guy at the event mid-April. I watch a little bit of Bellator because I like a lot of MMA. I think the main card is it AJ McKee versus the what's that guy's
Patricio
name?
Pitbull.
Patricio Pitbull. AJ McKee.
The rematch.
One of the best. Is it 150? Is it 145 or 155?
He's a featherweight. He's
145, right?
He's in Volk's division, so I think that's 145.
145.
Yeah,
might be the best 145er in the world. Might be. Fights for Bellator. There's another fight there that's very intriguing. It's Vadim Nemkov.
Yep.
Versus UFC ex-UFC fighter, Corey Anderson.
Yep.
Now Corey Anderson was a ranked fighter before he went to
Bellator.
Went to Bellator. He was one away against Jan, knocked out Jan, and Jan knocked him out. He was one fight away from a UFC light heavyweight, lightweight contender fight.
Yep.
But he lost to Jan, and Dana just cut him after he lost. Facing Vadim Nemkov, who is arguably the best 205 pounder in the world, the best light heavyweight in the world. Nemkov, I think Nemkov beat Prokaska in a fight.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's in one championship. Oh no, never mind. I think Yuri Man won that fight.
Wow.
So one championship is very, very savage. They have this 10-minute rounds. These dudes fought for 10 minutes in one round. You need to go watch this, Tease. Because I think Prokaska won because he just had a little bit more stamina.
I'm going to watch this fight as soon as we get off this podcast. That sounds incredible.
Yuri Prokaska versus Vadim Nemkov. This was they kept on. It was a bloodbath, straight up.
That is awful.
Rounds.
10-minute rounds. That's what they should do to the heavyweight division. I want to see the fat guys suffer. Like we had our guys cooked in round one. So imagine just like a 10-minute round with the fat boys.
Yeah, that Bellator event is going to be Bellator 277. It's on April 15th. That is probably the two biggest fights that Bellator can make right now, and they're on the same card. So obviously,
I would definitely watch that fight. Definitely.
We will be tapped into that event. AJ McKee is must-see TV, as I've been trying to tell Stefan. So he's going to finally see AJ McKee in action. That event is massive. Bellator, props to y'all for making this event. I will be tapped in. That's April 15th. That's going to be fire. Okay, let's talk about the Joe Rogan thing for a second before we start talking about fights. So obviously, as of our last podcast, we said they're probably going to have Joe Rogan there. Joe Rogan he has pretty much universal support within the MMA community. There hasn't been a lot of people coming out against Joe Rogan. There's been a lot of people protecting him, including Izzy Adesanya, who came out and protected him, which was very trash, and we don't respect that from Izzy. But anyway, so they came out and said, well, Joe Rogan not going to be at 271 because there's scheduling conflicts. Well, and UFC PR put out that statement. After the 271 ended, Dana in the press conference says, no, there wasn't a scheduling conference. Joe Rogan decided not to show up, and I'm not really sure why. And so obviously it doesn't look great that the UFC itself put out a statement that there was a scheduling conflict, and then Dana pushed back against that immediately after 271 and said, no, it wasn't a scheduling conflict. Dana just didn't want to come. So something weird is going on. Either Joe Rogan really didn't want to show up because the temperature was too hot, or most likely Disney and ESPN were putting pressure on UFC to not have him there. I don't know which one is which, but there's some nasty stuff going on with Joe Rogan, obviously. And we won't know what's really going on until 272, which he's supposed to be there, and that's going to be on March 5th. But I think Joe knew the temperature was too hot because Dana doesn't give a shit. I mean, we said that we knew his fighters didn't give a crap. The fans don't really give a crap. So I think that was more of a Joe decision. And I know ESPN, I mean, yes, ESPN and the Mickey Mouse overlords, I know they are into everything, but in this sense, they don't care about UFC. Like, so that's something small to them. If it was some big thing that they covered, I could see them meddling. But for UFC, look, they care about money more than anything. And again, who loves Joe Rogan? UFC fans. It's the perfect demographic for him. So I think that was just Joe saying, "No, let me chill out and not add more fire to the flames." But those guys, we knew they were going to do that. We literally called it before the fights. Like, we knew they were going to stand up for him. I didn't think Izzy would, but again, I can see Izzy and his personality and the way he is. I can 100% should have seen that coming, which sucks, but it is what it is at this point. It was weird because Joe Rogan, of course, got a huge pop in the audience. All night in the crowd, they were chanting "Free Joe Rogan" all night, bro.
Tease, did you chant it?
No, I did not chant "Free Joe." First of all, Joe Rogan is a free man. He still makes millions. So I don't understand why we're saying "Free Joe Rogan." He has not been canceled.
There was no dispute about his freedom.
No dispute about his freedom. So no, I definitely did not chant that. But yeah, that's the Joe Rogan controversy. But now we can talk about some actual fights. So as y'all know, myself and G-Day were in the building for 271. And I want to go through a couple of the prelim fights before we get to the main card, because the prelims were fire, maybe more fire than the main card.
So real quick
I got
though,
discussed.
that was
go ahead.
Go ahead.
so y'all two, since y'all both were there. Teach, I know it was your first like actual UFC event. So what was your thoughts? How was the vibes? Because it sounded again. I always feel like UFC events sound live, and it sounds like everybody's really into it. But how was it with y'all being there?
It was phenomenal energy. My seats ended up being better than I thought, and it was just great energy from start to finish. There was some weird crowd reactions, which we'll talk about when we get to the fights, especially in the King Casey fight and in the main event. There were weird crowd reactions. I guess the crowd thought that the wrong person won or was mad about who won. But other than that, and other than the Joe Rogan stuff, I had a phenomenal time. It's one of those things where I'm glad I did it, and I'll definitely be back to UFC events. But also, like, it wasn't very different than me just sitting at home eating good food. Like, I could have either or. It's not like I got to be at every UFC event now. It was a cool experience. I'm sure I'll be back. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. What about you, G-Day?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. That's the first ever fight I've ever been to.
Nice.
You know, definitely different from TV. In TV, you could hear the commentary, you get better angles.
Yes.
You know, when you're in the arena, you could barely see the ring. I saw the ring, but it was this bar that kept on blocking the fighters.
Yep.
So I was watching it. There was a bar on top of the cage that kept blocking the fighters, and I was watching on the big screen. You don't hear the punches and kicks as much, but the energy there is ridiculous. You feel like you're in ancient Rome and you're in the audience watching gladiators battle. That's the type of energy you get when you're there. You got to drink when you're there too. You're in a fight, you got to drink. I can imagine what T was. I didn't see any of the prelim fights. I came in for the main event. But T's probably there for the early prelims.
I was there for the early prelims.
You were probably drinking.
T's was gold by this main event.
By the time the main card started, I was sauced, man. I was completely sauced. Oh my god!
See, that's my only thing with like all sport events now. I feel like it's such a weird dynamic because of how amazing technology is to use the commentary. So I always tell people like, yeah, I love going to college football, but like, I would much rather watch it at home. And I felt like the same time when I went to go do UFC, when I went to watch UFC, it was like, yeah, it's a really fun experience, but I still like miss the commentary. Or when little stuff is happening, you literally don't have no clue in the arena. You just like, dang, like somebody could be injured and you just like,
you don't know. You just drunk and shouting and getting wild.
So I always tell people I feel like the best experience, because the part that you talked about, G-Day, was the crowd and all of that. That's why I always feel like when I go to like a bar or Twin Peaks or something and there's still the people there amped with you,
still get that
but
experience.
You still get the commentary and everything. That's the perfect match. But again, it's something that I feel like everybody needs to experience. It's so hype because you feel like your adrenaline is through the damn roof when somebody gets knocked out.
Absolutely.
I want to start with, this is Black History Month, so I hate to come down on a Black King like this, but William Knight was the first fight of the night. He got put there after he missed weight by 12 pounds. He signed on for this fight at short notice, a couple weeks notice, but he agreed to make lightweight. He missed weight by 12 pounds, which means he knew he wasn't going to make weight days before he actually got on that scale. Did not tell anyone that he was going to miss weight. So he gets on the scale. He misses weight by 12 pounds. Now he loses 40% of his purse, and he asks his opponent, does he still want to fight? The opponent is looking at it and saying, I get 40% of his purse plus my purse. I'm going to go fight the guy. But I gotta give a tisk to William Knight here, because that other guy across from the octagon with you made weight, which means he was killing himself to make weight, especially for those last couple of days. And you let him do that. You knew you weren't going to make the weight, and you let him go kill himself. And then after you missed weight, you came back and said, let's do it at heavyweight, which is what happened. The guy took the fight because he wants 40% of your purse plus his own purse. He's about trying to get paid. And Dana don't pay these dudes no way. So, of course, you're not going to turn down the money. And now we end up in a fight where somebody is way bigger than the other guy. And William Knight still lost this fight. If you're going to do the gamesmanship and make that guy kill himself to make the weight, you better go knock his ass out, bro. But that's not what happened. William Knight lost the decision. The fight was boring, and William Knight lost the fight. So no respect for William Knight on this podcast today. That was a nasty showing, bro. If you're going to act like that, go knock that dude out. Now I can't give you no props because you didn't even win the fight after you did all that gamesmanship. I don't like that.
I know, and I hate it because, like, I was out for Valentine's Day, and I think I told you, TJ, I was like, TJ hyped this fight up so much, I was like, I want to watch it. So I'm, like, sitting there with my wife, and I got my phone, like, in the corner, and I'm kind of peeking. And I'm like, TJ's about to get me in trouble for this raggedy-ass fight for this man that didn't care enough to lose weight.
It was a nasty fight. That was the start of the night, and I said, that's not a good start. Jeremiah Wells, who's the second fight, is 2-0 in the UFC with 2 finishes. I came on this podcast and lied to you about Blood Diamond, who is a city kickboxing teammate of Israel Adesanya's. I thought Blood Diamond was going to kick his head off. And then Jeremiah Wells, when this fight started, I don't know if y'all have seen this, he falls. Like in the first 3 seconds of the fight, he's running around the octagon in the circle, and he just trips. And when that happened, you couldn't tell me nothing. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely about to. I had bet on Blood Diamond. I'm like, this clumsy ass dude about to get knocked out. This is about to be great. That's not actually what happened. Wells has already showed that he is strong as hell and can punch. But in this fight, he really got to show he's a BJJ black belt. And you really saw it. He dominated this fight and cooked Blood Diamond in his debut. And it was a great performance. Now Jeremiah Wells is somebody I want to watch out for. He's 2-0 in the UFC, 2 finishes. We got to watch out for that guy. And that was he fights at welterweight. So
you know how crazy that is? Though? Think of what's going through your mind as you like, all right, you got your game plan. You like, I'm running around this ring a little bit, get loose. And then you trip. So now you like, oh shit. Look, in my mind, I'm like, damn, now I'm embarrassed. Now I got to fight.
Now I got to
if you trip, like you got that barefoot, so a little pinky toe could have got caught in the net. Yep. So now your toe hurt and you done got cooked. This is like the worst sequence of events.
It was that. Luckily, he came back to win the fight because when he tripped like that, I was like, oh, yeah, he's about to go out very sad. I've never seen
as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, let me check these live odds because I need to jump in on this.
The next one, we had the fight of the night, which was easily the fight of the night. Everybody knew it when it happened. This was the Douglas Silva de Andrade fight against Morozov. Andrade was getting absolutely destroyed in that first round. Blood was leaking everywhere. Even in the arena, sitting where I sat at, there was a moment where the cut opened up over his right eye, and there was just blood squirting everywhere. And I was like, holy shit, that man is leaking. He was getting cooked on the feet. And then when they went down to the ground and pound started. He was getting cooked in the ground and pound. Then when they stood up towards the end of the round, he caught a nasty knee to the head. And I said, all right, this guy's done. Coming out for the second round, I literally said to the guy sitting next to me, he got a dead body in front of him. He needs to go finish this fight. Morozov's got to go finish the fight. Morozov did not finish the fight. In fact, in the second round, he got absolutely cooked. Andrade just refused to lose, and he started showing the boxing, and he actually knocked Morozov down with the same combination twice in a row. He hit him with a left hand cross to the body, followed immediately by a right hand cross to the face, and both times he landed that, he knocked Morozov down. And from that moment, Morozov was in hell. He later got choked out in the second round. Easily fight of the night. I can't believe that Andrade was able to come back from that. That was a disgusting fight at bantamweight. Douglas Silva de Andrade cooked in the fight of the night. That was disgusting.
And this is one of those fights where I've got to go back and watch it because I had to pay attention to my lovely date. So I have it set right down there. I'm gonna go back and watch that fight because I heard everybody talking about how amazing it was.
Easily the fight of the night. Absolute carnage. Our ultra violence fight of the night. It got nasty. So make sure y'all go back and watch that fight for sure. The first Houston fighter on the card was Mana Martinez. He came out to a huge ovation. He had like a Houston compilation of songs at his walkout music. So the crowd was really rocking. And then he just proceeded to get his ass whooped for about a round and a half. And the crowd was not liking that. But in the third round, he started cooking a little bit. And it looked like he needed a finish because he's already down 2 rounds. But it looked like he might get the finish a couple times in the third round. But he did not get the finish. He ended up losing the decision. Ronnie Lawrence looked great in this fight and his striking. And after the fight, he said, well, I didn't finish him because I have diarrhea, which is an elite excuse for not finishing a fight. elite excuse. If I was a fighter, I would use that excuse every time I didn't get a finish.
No,
Yeah, that's an elite excuse.
that's legit though. I can imagine, like, bro, when your stomach is messed up, you don't want to be exerting extra energy to try to finish somebody because, like,
you don't want to be doing nothing, let alone fighting for your life. Like,
you don't want to get a body shot either. You don't want to get a body shot.
Yeah, you got to go just sit against the corner and just be like, hey, let's wrap this up.
I've never heard. That's an elite excuse. I could not imagine doing my job with diarrhea, let alone their job with diarrhea. Like, that sounds awful. But Ronnie Lawrence said, fuck that, and went and got the win anyway. I was very impressed by that because anybody that has ever had diarrhea knows you're not in fighting shape. I don't care who you are.
He should move up in the rankings for that. Like, at least they should rank that man. Just put like an asterisk and be like, this man fought with diarrhea. That's like diarrhea surviving a war.
What else we got? Kyler Phillips looked great over Rojo. Rojo is in his second UFC fight. Me and Stefan both said on this podcast, Kyler Phillips is a better fighter than Rojo. He's been in there with better fighters, and the experience will show. That's kind of exactly what happened in that fight. Rojo's now 0-2 in his UFC career, and he didn't look like he had some moments, but Kyler Phillips dominated the fight. And obviously that's a bantamweight fight. And Kyler Phillips is probably looking for a step up in competition right around now. So we'll see what he gets next. G-Day, stop me. I know you're not in the building yet. When I get to when you walk in the building, please stop me and let me know.
Okay.
I got the Casey O'Neill fight. So Casey O'Neill was fighting Roxanne Modafferi. We all knew that Roxanne Modafferi was going to retire after this fight. So there was a lot of talk about her in the build up to the fight. King Casey set the record for the most substantial strikes in a fight in her weight division in history. And somehow this was a split decision and the crowd was angry that she won the fight.
What?
After the crowd got angry and started to boo her, Casey went full hill and said, you want me to be the bad guy? I'll be the bad guy. Fuck y'all. Because they booed her after she won. And it was incredible. But she was very gracious to Roxanne. She didn't have any beef with Roxanne, but apparently the crowd, I know the crowd wanted Roxanne to win. She's like a crowd favorite. She's retiring. But Roxanne Modafferi did not win this fight. Like, very props to her. She's retired. We wish you the best on your journey. But King Casey easily won the fight. But I knew at this point tonight the judging is some trash because that fight was a split decision, even though they got the right winner. One judge was out to lunch, and he picked Roxanne Modafferi to win that fight. And I said, this is going to be dangerous because we have a judge in the building who's gone rogue, and this is probably bad going into other fights. And it comes that the same judge was on some bullshit in the main event, so you're going to see the same judge come up again. But that was the time where I thought, no, something is not right with the judging because King Casey dominated the fight, and somebody gave the fight to the other fighter, and that's always a bad sign.
All right, so this is a weird spot to kind of interrupt, but did you just see the latest news where they say Bobby Green may be jumping in against Islam at a catch weight?
Please God, tell me that's not happening. Please God.
Oh, well, and that's intriguing because Bobby Green is very hard to hit.
No,
very hard to hit.
No.
Teachers are so hurt by this news. Bobby Green is going to get put in the dirt.
Wait, now Bobby Green is slippery.
Can I ask why is this fight going to be at a catch weight? Those dudes are in the same weight division, and we know Bobby Green is close to being on weight because he just fought.
Well, I think it's just because he just fought. He was probably eating wild. Like, I mean, once you make that weight, it's on.
Okay,
he's up 10 pounds in a day.
I was going to say when we got to the Bobby Green fight that it's time for a Bobby Green main event, which is definitely time for that. He keeps cooking people on pay-per-views. He's 36, I think, fighting the best fights he's ever fought in his career, looking great. But goddamn, I'm scared as fuck of this fight. No, don't tell me this, bro. I'm very, very nervous for Bobby Green. I love Bobby Green. Houston was absolutely obsessed with Bobby Green. He probably got the loudest ovation that wasn't a fighter from Houston or Izzy Adesanya. Like, they love him. Everybody, he's a crowd favorite. But, Lord, that is a huge step up in competition. But you beat Islam Makhachev. Now we're talking about Bobby Green for title contention, which is something nobody's been doing yet. But he's not going to beat Islam Makhachev.
Look, Bobby Green would be like plus 600.
You know what?
I'm betting on him.
I might place bets.
Oh my God! Don't look. Now remember, Bobby Green has a wrestling background, guys. So Bobby Green can wrestle. He never does it.
Okay, bro. There's wrestling and there's wrestling cats from Dagestan. It's a different level of wrestling. We wrestling cats from Dagestan, dog. I'm sorry.
I do not want to see this fight. Please, God, put the kibosh on this fight, Dana. Please don't do this.
Nah, they're just gonna do it. They're just gonna do it. They're just gonna do it.
I do not like that at all.
It's intriguing. Bet Bobby Green.
Intriguing. I'm just so scared. I love Bobby Green. I want the best for Bobby Green. I do not want him in there with no damn Islam Makhachev, bro.
I'm just saying, Bobby. Listen, it's hard to hit. It's very unorthodox. It gives people problems. He went against Rafael Fiziev in a split decision.
True, split decision.
Yeah,
fought him.
Okay, but he is absolutely an amazing boxer. But this is MMA.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Bobby
getting choked out round one.
I don't know. I'm gonna bet on Bobby Green to win.
Me too.
Don't do it, brother. Please, y'all. Please.
That's my new thing now. I find the craziest odds and I bet.
The odds are gonna be crazy. The odds are gonna be +4, +500, something like that.
It's worth a shot.
Y'all see people with these ridiculous parlays, and they're like, "Look at these odds." Do not look at those odds. Those odds are there for a reason.
I did place a bet on Julian Pena to beat Nunes.
Wow.
Now, somebody on this podcast,
somebody on this podcast said that.
I'm not gonna say who, but somebody called that and said, if you were a betting person, you need to bet this.
You only get half credit because you didn't pick her to win the fight. If you had picked her and told them to bet on it, couldn't nobody tell you nothing on this podcast no more.
But you didn't tell you that Pena was gonna win.
You did. Now you did tell me that. Stefan,
I didn't say all that.
But he just said it'd be a prudent bet. He did say that. He said the odds are good enough that we should bet on. But G-Day said no, Pena's going to win. I didn't believe neither one of y'all. I thought y'all were both smoking crack.
Look, he didn't believe in himself either. Look, it's just like you don't believe in Bobby Green.
None of that shit. Oh God. Okay.
It's MMA.
R.I.P. Bobby Green.
I hope that fight doesn't happen. Bobby Green, I love you. Okay. Well, this is perfect. The perfect time to talk. So Bobby Green fought the fake Kelvin Gastelum this weekend. It's incredible. It's incredible how much this dude looks like Kelvin Gastelum. First of all, why does he look exactly like Kelvin Gastelum, but like a smaller version? I don't know. Bobby Green was out there boxing his head off, and it was clear that Bobby Green looked like a fake Diaz brother, bro. The way he was boxing, the way that he moves, the way that he talks shit in the middle of fighting, the crowd was in love with him. The crowd fell more in love with him. He dominated this fight. I have a question written here that who is next for Bobby Green? I have all these fucking ideas that might not matter. I guess Makhachev is next. But it is time for a Bobby Green main event. I'm hoping it's not Islam Makhachev, but it is time. They keep putting him on pay-per-views. He keeps on impressing. He keeps on delivering great fights and great performances. So it's time to give that guy a main event. He's fighting the best he's ever fought in his career at this late in his career.
Yeah.
But Islam Makhachev is a big step up in competition.
Yeah, that's a different.
But like we said, like he's so old though, or not? He's not super old, but in UFC years, he's old.
Yes.
And it's like, how many more shots do you get? I mean, realistically.
I mean, you're right.
So, I mean, you have to take this shot. I mean, I understand why he would take it. Because after this, you don't really have too many other options. But if you win, you are absolutely skyrocketed to the top.
Facts. You're more famous, and you are closer. You were talking about you. Like I said, nobody talks about Bobby Green as a title contender, but now you go ahead and beat Islam Makhachev. You are a title contender. I'm not even sure if Bobby Green is ranked yet. Is he ranked?
I don't think he's ranked. But you know, it would be a good fight for him.
Holy shit.
Tony Ferguson would be a good fight for him.
I would love Tony Ferguson. I would love Brad Riddell, who also has very slick boxing. That would be fun as hell.
Or Cowboy Cerrone.
Is Cowboy Cerrone about to go in there and fight an old man? Thank God. He fights Joe Lauzon soon. Thank God. He don't need to be fighting nobody. Not that Bobby Green is a young guy, but compared to Cowboy Cerrone, Bobby Green is a young guy. So yeah, Bobby Green looked great in that fight. We'll see what's next for him. Hopefully it's not Islam Makhachev, but I understand why he would have to take the fight if he can make the weight, especially if it's at a catch weight. Let's do it. Bobby Green main event, which I would love for Bobby Green just to get a main event. He has a great story. I would love for people to get to see that story and kind of spend more time with Bobby Green. That'd be dope as hell. But then the fight starts and he got to be in there. Islam Makhachev. That's different. That's a different ball game. At lightweight, we can talk about Moicano, who's won now 2 in a row in 3 of his last 4. And this guy, he looks huge in there at lightweight. He used to fight up a division, and he cut down. He used to cut down to 145, and he said he used to cut 12 to 13 pounds on like the day before the fight, which sounds like absolute hell. Now he doesn't do that anymore. Now he's staying up at lightweight at 155, and he looked dominant in this fight. He says he wants to rank guy next. He got to. I love fights like this because you get to see a fighter's whole package. No pun. Pause. He got to strike. He got to grapple. He got to show the BJJ. Like he got to really show everything in this fight, and he got to show the whole skill set. And you don't always get that chance. You go in there and get an early finish. You're only showing one part of your game, maybe 2 parts of your game. He got to kind of show a lot of parts of his game, and he looked great. You don't want to hit the mat with that guy. His BJJ looked crazy, but of course he's Brazilian, so you would expect that his BJJ game ain't playing.
He's been doing that since birth. If you're born in Brazil, you now do BJJ.
He dominated. And he still looks big at 155, which is crazy because he used to cut down. He still looks big, but he's been in there with Aldo. He's been in there with Cub Swanson. He's fought Brian Ortega. So this guy has been in there with killers. He wants a ranked guy next. Give him a ranked guy. He also called for a bonus, and he did not get the bonus.
Yeah, I love what he said. I was like, Dana, I need that bonus.
He said, Dana, I need that check. He said, follow me on social media. I finished 2 dudes in a row. Y'all need to go tell Dana I need that check. I need that cash. And I said, good. We need to get behind this. And Dana, of course, in true Dana fashion, did not give this guy a bonus check because, of course, he didn't. Even after this guy told the reporters at the end of the fight he was going to use the bonus money to buy a wheelchair for his grandma, I think, Dana said, fuck your grandma, and did not give him any bonus money. That's what Dana did. Dana, you are nasty for that. But good win for Moicano at lightweight. And now we got to talk about when I told a lie on this podcast again. This is the second time we've gotten here. So the Brunson-Cannonier fight. Obviously, I picked Brunson. Stefan picked Cannonier.
I knew Cannonier was going to win that fight.
There you go. I'm glad there's 2 great picks minds on here. You know, everybody can't make great picks.
Oh, my God. For a while, Brunson was dominating the fight. He got 2 takedowns in the first round. He controlled them. He actually got a knockdown the first round, too. He landed a right cross and put Cannonier on his back. So he's dominating the fight. He opens up round 2 with another takedown. And I'm like, yeah, Cannonier's about to be in hell. And then Cannonier lands like a right hook that you kind of see but kind of don't. And all of a sudden, from that moment on, Brunson just looked like a completely different person. Like he looked like he was no longer himself. He couldn't get a takedown. He couldn't defend strikes. He could not strike. One punch literally changed this fight. And once Cannonier realized that he was fighting somebody who was compromised, of course he bludgeoned him and beat the hell out of him and gave him some of the nastiest ground and pound elbows I've ever seen.
I would say one thing about Brunson though is Brunson has a flaw. Brunson is not a very good striker.
Not at all.
And he does get hit. When he gets tired, he wobbles.
Yep.
So if you watch the Easy fight versus Brunson fight, Easy tagged him, wobbled, knocked him out.
Yep.
If we're gonna watch Brunson versus Darren Till, right? Even though he dominated Till in that fight, Till caught him at least once or twice. He wobbled.
Yep.
When you watch him, who else did he fight that he beat? When you watch him fight against who's that skinny dude that knocked out that skinny guy that can't wrestle?
Oh, talking about Holland.
Kevin Holland.
Yeah, Kevin Holland touched him, and he wobbled. So I knew that if Cannonier, with all that power he got, touches Brunson, he was gonna wobble him. And Brunson doesn't have the stamina, to keep going at it.
Yep.
For like 3 rounds straight.
He tried 11 takedowns in the first round alone. So like
he was gassed out.
And that was like the biggest thing. Y'all didn't get to see my tweets, but that's the first thing I saw. I said, man, he is gassed. I said it even in the first round. I said, he has a Gatorade cup flashing, like literally. Because you could tell he was just jumping in for takedowns. And I kept telling somebody, I said, he's going to keep going for these takedowns and he's going to catch an uppercut. And right near the end of the first, he caught one. He caught one opening in the second. And then that's when I said, all right, he's gassed and he's getting touched. This is over.
Oh, and
They
to
actually
piggyback on. Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead, Teach. You want me to go ahead? Okay.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
okay. So watching that fight, and this is I know Cannonier is gonna fight Easy next. Cannonier gets touched also. He gets touched. That's
Yep.
something to look out for when they fight Easy, because Easy put up a terrible fight against Whitaker. The fight with Easy, Cannonier's gonna get touched a lot. It's not gonna be pretty. But go on, Teach.
Dana has come out and said that Cannonier is next. Cannonier, after he won the fight, Dana, who knows what the hell Dana's paying attention to when there's a number one contenders fight going on in the middle of the octagon. Dana just talking to whoever the fuck he's talking to. So Cannonier had to say, Dana, look at me. I'm the captain now. I want the title shot. So Cannonier called for the title shot. It looks like he's going to get it. Also, thought it was interesting. Brunson's corner threw in the towel, although it didn't matter.
Oh, they did. I didn't know
the ref stopped it right as they were
at the exact same time, like literally.
But when the way Brunson's head was bouncing off that mat, them 3 elbows did not look fun.
Yeah,
they did not look fun.
That first one was god awful.
That shit looked.
He was dead. His eyes rolled back in the back of his head.
He hit him with an elbow while they were standing, and then flipped him over. And then the first one he landed when they got on the ground was just disgusting. It was just.
How about this? Let's rewind back to the initial punch when he punched him and he hit with
the back fist.
I think the back fist did it. The back head was like
it was disgusting. So Brunson's got to go back to the drawing board. It looks like obviously Cannonier is going to be next with a title shot against Izzy. Because in the main event, of course, Izzy won, but we'll get there in a second. But first, we got to talk about the heavyweights.
My favorite part of the night, right there.
We got to talk about the heavyweights. Both me and Stefan did pick Lewis to win this fight. Lewis, of course, got a massive ovation in Houston, and for a round, Lewis really dominated. He was landing strikes. He was landing. Goddamn, G-Day was cooking on these picks. Lewis was landing strikes, and he was even wrestling a little bit. He had a couple takedowns in the first round, but I noticed in that first round, every time Tuivasa got into some trouble, he would just bite down on his mouthpiece and start swinging to get the respect back. And you could tell because of all that wrestling and all the grappling and all the swinging they were doing that Lewis was starting to get tired. But obviously, that's what happens to Derek Lewis. He gets tired.
That's literally it.
So, and in that first round, there was a moment where Ty was in big trouble because Lewis was on top of him and started to land some ground and pound. They stood back up, and Lewis immediately started swinging on him again, and Ty Tuivasa landed a short elbow when they got out of the clinch in that first round, which is exactly how it ended the fight. In the second round, he started swinging, he bit down his mouthpiece, got the respect back, and then threw a short elbow. In that second round, same thing kind of happened. Lewis is swarming him. Lewis has landed some shit because Ty Tuivasa got hit in this fight. It's not like he had a great performance. We knew he was going to get hit. We just didn't know that he was going to get hit and keep coming forward, but that's what he did. And I don't think people are giving him credit for how technical of a knockout that knockout was. When he there in the clinch, he's pushing Lewis against the gate. He knows that Lewis is tired. So Lewis, when he gets close to the gate, is going to fall back into the gate. His natural body weight is going to take him that way. Instead of going with him, Ty stops, lets him bounce off the gate, and kind of times the elbow perfectly for when Lewis bounces off the gate, brings his momentum back to Ty, elbow to the face. Lewis landed face down, ass up. Fight is over. There's nothing else to talk about in the fight. Ty Tuivasa.
That is a nasty way to describe that, T. Bro, what?
Pause. Ty Tuivasa went into Houston and shocked the world. He beat the number 3 fighter in the world. He knocked out the knockout king. And even when Derek Lewis loses, we don't normally see him get knocked out. Like when Gon beat Lewis, he got a TKO, but it was really like a whole bunch of strikes in a row. It wasn't one strike to knock you out.
When he got knocked out
one
by
strike.
When guy knocked him out, that was more because of exhaustion.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I feel like this one was, though. I feel like every time with him, like, yeah, he's just tired. So, like we talked about, yeah, but I feel like it was still more of an exhaustion. Like at this point, he was gonna lose no matter what happened. So it's like, hey, I'm not even defending anymore. I'm just absolutely done. But like we said, that was a. I feel like both of these guys are still so feast or famine. It's just like
Yep.
again having that great knockout power. Yes, a great equalizer, but what do you do? What do you do when you fight Francis, who now has shown us he has some ground game? Now, granted, it's not the greatest ground game in
It's
the
not.
world, but
It's
we're not
effective.
calling him. Yeah, we're not calling him GSP or anything like that. But he has a developing ground game, and then he has the same power as you.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, Tuivasa has done really well, and again, I love both of these guys. I said it was like my favorite fight, but I didn't like the fight because I knew a great guy had to lose. A
Yep.
fun guy. Their press conferences are so fun. They just generally seem like great guys. But what did they do? Neither one of them beats Francis. Tuivasa doesn't beat Francis. I'll be damned. Y'all can say whatever y'all want
Well,
Nobody
to.
beats Francis.
No, don't look. Don't start it.
Wait,
Don't.
what you about to say, GJ? Don't start. Don't start.
no one is beating Francis.
GD is the worst person to go to Vegas with. I'm going ahead and tell this. I've never met this man in my life, but if you say you going to Vegas, do not go with this man because he just take a hell of it.
I would say one thing though. You are right. You are right. Nobody's beating Francis at all. Nobody's beating Francis. Francis beat God on one knee.
Facts.
One knee. He wasn't him 100%. No one's beating this new version of Francis, but this was the fight I was looking forward to out of all the fights, mainly because the build up to this fight, both dudes respect each other. They're like, yo, I like this guy, respect him, but I'm going there and knock him out. Derek Lewis said that, and two times, yo, I'm the same way. I like you, I respect you, but I'm going to knock you out too. And they're pretty much twins, essentially. One's a younger version of the other. Now, I've been watching Tuivasa fights, I guess for the past 3 fights. I got interested in when he knocked out Greg Hardy. Knocked him out clean in the ring. I remember that fight. I thought Greg Hardy was going to cook this guy. I mean, this fat guy comes in here, but he got hands. He got hands. He got hands. His hands are not the longest, but they're short and his punches are crisp. They're straight and it's got technique. So when he hits, it's a lot of power. Not that Derek Lewis. And I think there was one fight with not that Sakai. You have picked Sakai to beat him. I was like, nah, Tuivasa gonna win. Tuivasa not them out. I don't know who his marketing. I don't know who his PR people are, but it's a perfect marketing scheme. Big fat lovable guy comes into the ring with Sidney Lauper blasted to ignorant levels. Girls want to have fun. Goes there, takes your head off, and drinks beer out a shoe. How can you not be a fan? He's literally the Samoan Stone Cold Steve Austin. Straight up. Like that girls want to have fun. It's like the Stone Cold Steve Austin glass brick comes out. That's knocks you out, drinks out the shoe, and gets out.
The crowd loved the Cyndi Lauper. When the Cyndi Lauper started hitting, the crowd was going insane. It was one of those things to where Tuivasa, it's like, what do you do with him now? Like, he just beat the number 3 guy in the world, but we don't want to see him go in there and fight. I don't want to see him go in there and fight. Well, he can't go fight Francis now, but you're looking to make Stipe and John Jones obviously for the interim belt. What do you do with him? I think maybe you put him in there with the winner of Volkov and Aspinall, who's coming up next month, I think. Or put him in there with Gon, and if Gon gets knocked out, everybody wins. I would love to see Gon get knocked out. Let's do it.
I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see that fight at all.
I would love for him to knock out Gon. He would be my new favorite fighter.
He's not knocking out Gon. Let me tell you why. Gon is going to stay on the outside and just pity pat him for 5 rounds. Yeah. He's going to get frustrated, and God's win by decision. It's going to be so boring. I don't want to watch that fight. I don't want to watch a fight. Unless Tuivasa surprises me and say, no, fuck the striking. Take him down, do a ground and pound.
Take him down.
And do a ground pound. I know your weakness. You can't wrestle. Take him down. That's the only way. But I don't want to see God. It's a matchup nightmare.
Who do you want to see him in there for?
Now, you mentioned a great fight. The up-and-coming dude, Aspinall. If he beats Volkov, Aspinall got hands. Aspinall got ridiculous hands.
Aspinall does have hands.
He got hands.
And he has movement.
Yeah. Aspinall got hands and movement. Tuivasa got hands. What else got is a chin.
Yep.
Like, you're not knocking out Tuivasa. You're not knocking out the Samoans, dog. Their heads are hard. You're not knocking them out. So Tuivasa got hands and he got hard because he was losing that first round 10-9 to Derek Lewis.
Yep.
But they couldn't put him away. He took Lewis's best shots.
Yep.
You take Lewis's best shots and you're still standing.
You got a chin on you.
You got a chin. So that's gonna be an intriguing fight. And whoever wins that should be like not first contender, but second contender.
Got it.
Yeah. Because those two guys, Aspinall and Tuivasa, they're not being John Jones or Stipe. They're not.
No, they're not.
They're not. They should save them for the future of the heavyweight. Because all the other heavyweights after that are sloppy. Like, I'm sorry. After that, they're all sloppy. You got the Chris Duckerses of the world. You got I don't know. It's just sloppiness afterwards. Like
the whole division is like that. We talk about it so much. It is an awful division. Right now, I could go in heavyweight and I'm at least number 9.
You bugging, dog. You bugging, dog. Number 9, man. Oh, Lord.
I'm telling you, you put me out there, the odds aren't going to be good. It's going to be like Bobby Green and Islam. But listen, because I mean, you have nobody. You have no young guys. Like, I don't know if maybe people are getting better about health, and people aren't chubby and athletic. I don't know. Dana needs to go. This is what Dana needs to do. When I was in college, we used to have like random other people come talk to you about other careers. And I remember we had like a NASCAR pit crew, and they were like, "Hey, y'all are athletic. Y'all would be perfect for NASCAR." We were all like, "Oh no, we're not doing no damn NASCAR. Should have did it." But anyway, Dana needs to be like talking at like random football camps and like, "Hey, you defensive tackle, you lineman, you want to come be in the UFC?"
I mean, it does have a good point because you do have a good point because the best athletes, the best heavyweight athletes, ain't doing MMA, dog. You can't pay them enough.
MMA. You can't pay them.
They in the 3-point stance right now.
There you go. You know, I look at Fresh. Fresh looks like a freaking NFL outside linebacker DN, man. You know what I'm saying?
That man is a walking around 3 technique. You give him a little bit more food, that's a 3 technique.
That's how Dana keep him because you can't eat enough food on the UFC salary, so you can never be an elite defensive lineman. That's what happens. That's how you get them.
But like, think about Hardy. Hardy, who we absolutely hate, like piece of shit, but
was an elite defensive lineman in the NFL.
I mean, it's the perfect makeup. Yeah. You've got the physical, you got the mindset. I just need to teach you some random skills. So I mean, he needs to do something to build that division up because it is awful, man. I have no hope for the future of that. We're gonna see. That's why I told him. I said, if Francis wins this, he's our champ for years.
Well, I would say one thing about the UFC is this. You have to understand all these different weight divisions, they go through upgrades. Like easy right now is like the future of 185. All the 185 pounders that come after easy going to be just like easy. If you put easy
needs
back,
to move up.
Easy needs to move up. But I'm just saying, all these fighters evolve over years. Like an easy 10 years ago will wash every middleweight fighter.
Facts.
Usman.
Hold on now. Whoa.
Every. Even Prime Anderson Silva.
Even Silva.
Boy, y'all. Oh my God. I almost had a heart attack on the show.
I would say so. That's
Silva has fought current middleweights. Like we have seen Silva in there with the people that Izzy.
Do you remember what Izzy did with him?
Yeah, he beat him.
Y'all need to go rewatch that. Barely.
I mean, barely. This is like, that's true. And that wasn't.
This is old
Silva.
Man Silva. That
also wasn't Prime Izzy. Prime Izzy
is it was damn sure close. Which one was closer?
Also,
Prime Izzy.
Also, Silver was on that juice. We know that. Okay. Now give Izzy some juice.
If you gave Izzy juice, he wouldn't take it. This man would eat pizza to gain weight against John.
So that's a good transition for us. Now we at the main event. Obviously, it was Izzy and Robert Whittaker fighting for the belt. And this was a controversial decision somehow. One of the judges had it 49-46. Every other judge had it 3-2 for Izzy. So Izzy won by unanimous decision. And is there anyone on this podcast that thought Whittaker won the fight?
When I was at the fight, I guess because of the angle I was watching, I gave it 3-2 Whittaker. I give it 3-2 Whitaker. But when I watch the fight at home, I could see why Easy won. Yes, Easy won it when I watched it the second time at home. But when I was watching at the
That's
range,
interesting.
I had the exact opposite, and well, in the building at least.
That's what I thought you would have the opposit opinion.
I didn't think at all that Izzy had lost the fight. I didn't know whether Izzy had won 4 rounds or 3 rounds, but I wasn't even thinking that there would be a controversy once the fight ended. I was like, okay, Whitaker won round 5, but he lost at least 3 other rounds. So I didn't think it would be controversial at all. I wasn't expecting a split decision. If you look at Whitaker's body language after the fight, I don't think that he thought he won. I know that he said afterwards that he thought he did enough. I don't think he thought he won after the fight was over. But I found it interesting because a lot of the crowd was booing when Izzy was giving his post fight speech because they thought Whitaker won. And I saw online a lot of people thought Whitaker won. I did not. I thought Izzy won either 4-1 or 3-2. Most likely 3-2.
But when you watched it back, did it change your mind?
No, when I watched it back, well, I will say this: round 2 and round 4, very close rounds. But I thought that I gave them both to Izzy. So I think in the building, I had it 4-1. But when I watched it back, I ended up giving Whitaker the 4th round. So I had it 3-2 Izzy, with Izzy winning 1 through 3 and Whitaker winning 4 and 5.
See, and I had Whitaker winning 2, 4, and 5, in my opinion.
So you had Whitaker winning the fight.
Okay, so I don't know if I say he won the fight because I always include the intangible of to beat the champ, you have to go out and do extraordinary. I always feel like you have that bump in UFC. So I didn't think they would give it to him, but man, it was close as hell to me.
It was a close fight to me too.
The biggest thing that saved Izzy was the knockdown. I feel like that is the biggest thing was he got the knockdown. Because did he do damage? Yeah, he had a shit ton of leg kicks and he did some damage to Whitaker's leg, but outside of that, Whitaker had regular bumps and bruises on his face. It wasn't nothing extensive. So I feel like neither one of them really did damage. I felt like Whitaker did a better job of touching him late in the rounds. And of course, the takedowns were a very big thing. He didn't get to do much with them, but I still, I feel like if they're both not doing shit, then okay, maybe I get a takedown some credence, It's like,
I mean, my thing is, if you take somebody down and you do no damage, the takedown should not count. Whitaker was taking him down, but Izzy kept up springing back up. It was good.
I do totally agree with that. But when you talk about scoring, that's part of the scoring. So it's like, I agree. You should be able to do something with it. But if you're getting them, then that's just what it is. People say all the time, like, oh, he's pointing them like John Jones. But takedowns are a point too in your mind. So it's just like, I don't know. I have mixed emotions. I think my biggest takeaway is I am losing confidence in Izzy's dominance over and over in his past couple of fights. He's still a great fighter. He absolutely is. But
really?
Yeah, I mean, but think about it. Has Izzy destroyed anyone?
I had the exact opposite reaction. That fight made me realize Izzy is going to go up to light heavyweight and he's going to win. And he's going to have 2 belts. If his takedown defense has gotten to a point where you could take him down, he could pop right back up, then no one's going to beat him. No one. Who's going to beat him? He's probably got a longer reach than everybody at light heavyweight and middleweight. He's going to be a better striker than everybody at light heavyweight and middleweight. Watching that fight, even though he did not dominate and it was a close fight, I thought Robert Whitaker fought the fight that he was supposed to fight and had the right game plan this time, and he still lost the fight. So I was just like, who's going to beat this guy? Because I really do think Whitaker is the second best middleweight in the world. Like, I don't think that any of those guys in the division are Whitaker.
But in that division,
Chimaev going to beat him. Kaz Chimaev going to be easy.
Chimaev be lying, bro. First of all, Chimaev
and he don't even know what division he wants to be in.
I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear that, bro.
Until he goes and fights some higher ranked guys, I'm gonna put him in the talking shit category. And we don't know much more else. But here's my thing with Izzy. Izzy is a great fighter. I really love Izzy. I've stayed Izzy for a really, really long time. But my thing is, like, okay, he ran through Gastelum, great. The Silva fight was.
Hold on, he didn't run through Gastelum. Now, hold on. Now, Gastelum pushed that man. Gastelum was
okay. All right, I'll say that's like one of his toughest tests. It felt like Gastelum was good at that time. So it's like, okay, yeah, you fought Joel Romero, awful, god awful. That was just I hate that fight. He did run through Paulo Costa, and I give him really
Did
good.
him wrong. Violate that
that's
man.
it. That's his one
Facts.
fight where I was like, okay, yeah, you're serious. But his last couple fights, Jan, which I'm not gonna hold too much against him for that. I'm glad he went up. But then Vettori, snooze fest. I mean, let's be real.
Snooze fest, but he absolutely won the fight. It wasn't a close fight.
He dominated that fight.
But then,
you can't knock Vettori out. Vettori can't get knocked out.
His head is made of concrete.
But even with this Whitaker fight, I don't know, man. It's just like even looking at his record, he hasn't fought anybody.
Well, I would say one thing about to piggyback on Easy. The thing with Easy is this: he is an absolute elite striker. He's an absolute elite counter striker.
Facts.
The problem with Easy is he doesn't initiate offense like dominantly.
Yes.
That's never been his thing.
It's never been his style. I mean, he's bigger and stronger than everybody else, but he doesn't initiate offense aggressively. He doesn't take the initiative. So that's what you may feel that way, that he's not dominant. But from a technical perspective, I mean, he's the best striker. Now he's gonna have some problems coming up in middleweight. All right. He's gonna beat Cannonier.
I was gonna say.
Wait, I'm not done.
Cannonier's gonna be an issue.
No, he's gonna beat Cannonier. You know why? Because Cannonier gets touched, and Cannonier is aggressive.
And Cannonier's gonna come forward, which means he's gonna counter punch his face off.
That's what I mean. He's gonna beat Cannonier. That's no problem, right? He's gonna beat.
But I don't know.
But the guy who's gonna give him problems.
Stop this right now.
Alex Pereira beat him twice.
Alex Pereira not going to get up there. We don't know that he can wrestle, so how are we going to get a title shot?
He got to go through 1,000 fights to get there.
Yes. Listen, he's going to get fast.
And by then, he's going to catch so much hell.
There's also the possibility. I mean, I brought the Kazman thing. Easy's never fought like a super high level elite wrestler. Vettori's not elite wrestler.
He fought Brunson.
Brunson's not elite wrestler.
You see where Brunson at, right? He in the dirt.
I'm talking about.
He in the dirt.
One of them Dagestani boy level wrestlers.
Got it.
One of those, he just fought one of those. Will he move up to light heavyweight? Light heavyweight is I can see moving up there. A fight against Yuri Prokaska is intriguing.
He's got to gain weight until he takes his weight serious. This is a big power jump, and the wrestling. Once they get you
down
the
he have to gain weight if he goes up to fight either Glover? Glover, I understand he needs to gain the weight because Glover's going to take you down, and once you get on the ground, he's going to choke you out. Do we really have to gain weight for Yuri when Yuri's just going to be punching us? Do we really have to do that? And Yuri's going to come forward too.
But the thing is, if I know what he did with Jan, my strategy that is take him down too. That has to be the strategy to beat him. We talked about it leading into the show. Whitaker had to get takedowns to keep it.
Yuri has strategy. I think Yuri's strategy is let her punch you and you punch him.
If his coach is worth a shit, somebody's gonna talk to you about some strategy before that, bro. I don't care what you're doing. We are wrestling. I'm not even letting you punch. You're
not allowed to punch.
Grappler. But the only other thing which I know would never happen is Usman. And people talk about that, and I worry. The only thing that worries me is the reach because Usman used to be a great counter strike. He used to be a counter puncher too. He's now a aggressive ass striker that is elite, and we know he can wrestle.
Yeah,
I would say Usman striking compared to Easy striking, different levels.
I don't know. I don't know.
I agree.
That man has turned into an amazing striker.
But I don't think anybody is on Izzy's level of pure striking. But the wrestling and the grappling that Usman can bring are way above the level of Izzy, and so I think that's the equalizer.
I know if Usman fights Izzy, Usman is not going to attempt to strike. He's not. Why would you? He's gonna get counted.
No, he's not going to stand the strike, but what he'll do is take him down so much early that it'll make him second guess, and then he's going to be in a position where he'll get aggressive. Yep.
You don't think he's prepared for the counter punches? Like Usman striking is not that advanced. He would knock you out, but
I don't know. I feel like we're discrediting his development, man. He has gotten amazing in striking.
You think he's on the level of Izzy of striking though?
Yeah.
Izzy striking is
on the same
I don't
level.
think anybody strikes like Izzy. I don't think we have him.
He's the greatest striker of all time in MMA.
I don't think we have
hold on, I don't know about that.
Yes, I think I agree with that.
Striker? Who's
Max.
the best striker? Okay, boxing. Okay, Max is only boxing. That's it.
Yes, Max ain't throwing no kicks.
We're talking about striking.
Still,
he's got so many.
Well, listen, Max boxing makes up for his feet. That man is an insane boxer. So I don't know. I don't want to see it, especially we not promote black on black violence. So we're gonna keep our two divisions as separate and let our black champs keep it.
Izzy said that he wants to be back in June. It looks like it's gonna be Cannonier. What do you do with Whitaker? Whitaker said, I'm just gonna go beat everybody's ass and force a third fight, which I have all the faith in the world.
And
that he
is absolutely going to do it.
he's gonna do that. Like, who's gonna beat Robert Whitaker if it's not Izzy?
Alex
it's gonna be like Volk.
Bro, as for maybe he could beat these
man,
people,
got 2 more years
to get a chance. They're gonna throw him at 4 wrestlers. He's gonna look like Kevin Holland out there, and he never gonna get the chance.
But no, you do bring up a good point, and I think Dana knows this. You don't have any intriguing fights for him. So if he wins a few, I can't see him getting that jump because you're gonna have the storyline of he's beat Izzy.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like we said, he got to win like at least 3 more good fights.
If Dana better handle his opponent, if Dana puts him in there with 3 strikers, he knocked all 3 strikers out. People will be fine with you giving him the shot, but you better put him in there with 3 strikers because somebody's gonna try to wrestle the kid at some point. Not that he can't wrestle. We don't know that he can wrestle yet.
Put Alex Pereira with this is a fast track fights. Put him against Darren Till, Kelvin Gastelum.
That's what I want.
And Strickland.
I love Gastelum because Gastelum's about to lose again. That'll be, I think, 5 losses in his last 6 or 6 losses in his last 7. Put Gastelum in there. Let Gastelum go strike him. He gonna knock Gastelum the fuck out, and now he's beat a big enough name to where we can talk about him up in that space.
Let him knock out Darren Till. Let him knock out Strickland. It will be Strickland.
I would love that.
Let him knock out Brunson. Yeah, like 4 straight fight.
I don't know if he would knock out Brunson.
I think he would. I mean, Brunson gonna wrestle him, but like, I also don't know what you do with Brunson because like Brunson has said he's gonna fight 2 more times after this fight. And he's gonna retire. We'll see if he means that. What do you do with Brunson next? You can put him in there with
Paulo Costa.
You can put him in there with Costa. You can put him in there. You can put him in there. Maybe not with Strickland. Maybe you can't. No,
that would be
Strickland
boring.
Now because I don't know what you do with Strickland. If Cannonier's gonna get the shot, what do you do with Strickland?
I think you could go Strickland and Costa.
Put Strickland and Whitaker in there. He gonna beat the shit out of Strickland.
Oh, you'll beat the crap out of Strickland. You'll beat the crap out of Strickland.
So I think he'll fight Vettori.
No, Bob Vettori. Nobody wants to beat Vettori fight. I'm sorry, it's a hug fest.
You think Whitaker? You think Whitaker's gonna fight Vettori? Or you think Strickland's gonna fight Vettori?
I think Whitaker will fight Vettori.
Vettori gonna get his ass whooped, but he's not gonna get knocked out. But he's gonna get his ass whooped.
Yeah, you go.
Robert Whitaker. I hope that people realize how close this fight was. Robert Whitaker is a dog, bro.
He's a dog.
He gonna beat. I fully expect him to win 3 fights and be back in there with Izzy. So I can't wait to
fight Kevin Holland.
Nah, it ain't right high enough.
You see Kevin Holland is fighting random people in the streets. Well, not random people in the streets, but like
he fought a Twitter troll. Yeah.
Bro was talking trash, and he was like, "Hey, pull up to the gym, sign this waiver real quick. I'll beat you up."
I got to give Kevin Holland props for that. And also, this is a great time to put a disclaimer in there that I don't want to fight no UFC fighters, no matter what I say on this podcast. Please don't add me about fighting. Please, I'm pussy. I don't want no beef.
Listen, RIP to Teach, but listen, if you're in the division below, listen. Hey, anybody below featherweight, I want the smoke. I don't want nobody weighing any more than that. But Aljamain Sterling, your little black ass want to come out here. Tell him absolutely no wrestling. Don't be a bitch. Fight me like a man.
Fight me like a man. We striking only, bro. So that was 271. Obviously, it was a great time. Not the most entertaining main event, but very technical, and it went about how I thought it was going to go. We said on this podcast it was probably going to be a decision. That's what it was. Izzy retains, and Izzy wants to return in June. So we'll see what happens with the middleweight division. A lot of fights to make in that division for sure. Go ahead,
Real
Stefan.
quick, how did we do on picks?
Oh, God. Stefan went 4-1. I went 3-2. So now the picks, I'm 2 fights back. I think I'm 10-10, and Stefan is 12-8 on the year.
Whew. Getting hotter by the week. I'm telling you, it's time.
I'm about to cook. Speaking of picks, we about to make more picks now. So like we said, the RDA Fiziev main event is off. So the new main event gives us Jamal Hill, who's number 12 against Johnny Walker at number 10 at lightweight. But let's go down the whole main card. The first fight that I'm having y'all pick is going to be at middleweight. It's Joaquin Buckley, who's a minus 145 favorite, against Abdul Razak Al Hassan, who's a plus 125 underdog. And this is going to be CTE City. These are 2 strikers that don't really do anything else. They both big as hell. They both strong as hell. This is going to be a fun fight. And Joaquin Buckley, if y'all remember, probably has one of the greatest highlights in UFC history with his his head kick knockout. I forgot who he was fighting.
That was a lucky hit. It knocked out my boy. Got something. I can't remember his name.
Yes.
Striker. They cut him after that.
They cut him after. It was nasty. But like I said, Joaquin Buckley is the favorite. These are 2 very big, very strong dudes. I'm going to take Buckley in this fight, the favorite, because he has, I think, a 4-inch reach advantage. And I like that. And 2 dudes that's going to go out there and try to box. But this might be the ultra-violence pick of the night. This one might get nasty. Somebody's getting knocked out. I'm going to take Buckley. Who y'all taking, brothers?
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm taking Buckley too. Listen, here's the crazy stat. We talk about this is going to be a CTE special. Buckley has won 77% of his fights by knockout or TKO. And then we've got Abdul has 100% of his by knockout. Somebody is dying, bro. Those odds are awful. Yeah.
My pick is Abdul Razak Al Hassan.
Okay, got it.
I'm going with him.
Listen, your bookie is drooling right now at you just taking these underdogs.
So G-Day took the underdog here. Me and Stefan took the favorite here. You're going to take all the underdogs. You're about to get cooked this weekend. The second fight we got is at lightweight. And we got Jim Miller, the ageless wonder, who's a plus 155 underdog, against Nicholas Mata, who's a minus 180 favorite. And this is a weird fight because Nicholas Mata is a minus 180 favorite, despite the fact that this is his second pro fight, his first UFC fight, his second pro fight ever. Meanwhile, Jim Miller has 51 pro fights and has been in there with the likes of Clay Guida, Charles Oliveira, Dan Hooker, Anthony Pettis, Dustin Poirier. And because there's like a 9-year age difference here, Miller is actually the underdog. I can't not take the underdog here. Too much experience. This guy's been in the octagon exactly 1 time as a pro. I can't take him to beat Jim Miller. I'm taking Jim Miller to win this fight.
So I'm absolutely not taking Jim Miller. I'm taking Mata in this fight. Jim Miller's last fight, which was actually a win, I want to say, against Gonzalez, it was a TKO in the second round. But no, this old man, it is like I told you, when Dana White wants to get this senior tour of the UFC, he needs to hurry up and set it up because I'm tired of these old men with families out here risking their life against these young up-and-coming guys. So Mata is going to destroy him. This fight doesn't go past the second round.
All right, I'm going to pick Mata for this one. I'm picking Mata for this one.
All right, y'all both got Mata. Y'all both took the favorite there. The third fight we're picking is at heavyweight, and you got Parker Porter, who's on a 2-fight win streak, who's a minus 250 favorite, who's fighting Alan Badeau, who is a plus 200 underdog. 2-fight win streak for Porter, and Badeau, meanwhile, is 0-2 in his UFC career. Parker Porter got a knockout in his last fight. I was impressed. He's fighting a guy who's never won in the UFC. I'm taking the favorite here, Parker Porter, by knockout.
I'm going to go with Porter as well, just because he's kind of bad built. I feel like when you're badly built in the UFC, that's a really good thing for you as a heavyweight. Also, Alan is from France, right? And I've seen enough of these French heavyweights. They absolutely disgust me. So I'm gonna go with Parker Porter on this one.
Oh, holy shit. G-Day?
I am gonna go with Parker Porter in this one. I saw his last fight. I can't remember where he fought, but he looked impressive. Like you said, his belly built. His belly built fighters got great stamina for some reason. You know,
It's the muscle. Now, people always say like, what weighs more, a pound of muscle or a pound of fat? But that is a lie. Yes, I know
yeah.
they're both a pound, but listen, that pound of muscle weigh down on you.
Look
It's
at
different.
Cormier, belly built man, but he's nice. DC
Facts.
belly built, but he's nice. So I'm gonna go with Parker Porter, man.
Did you say DC is badly built?
Yeah, DC's belly built, man.
Especially now.
I love
God
that.
damn,
I
boss.
love. So listen, one of my tweets on the fight was like, "Damn, DC getting big as hell. Every time I see him, he's like he goes up a suit size.
Yes,
He's
like he's
eating
getting
good.
big. He eating very good.
He's
He's
good.
living
Extremely
life.
well.
Shout out to DC.
He ain't got trained no
He ain't
more.
worked out in 6 months. He said, I'm living my best life. Our co-main event now has Kyle Dawkins. It's a catchweight fight actually, but this is the small Kyle Dawkins, not the heavyweight one. The small Dawkins brother, not the heavyweight one. Kyle Dawkins.
Now, Teach, before you make your pick, I want to remind you it's Black History Month. But go ahead.
That's true. Kyle Dawkins is a minus 250 favorite against Jamie Pickett, who's a plus 210 underdog. Fun fact: both of these guys have 0 UFC finishes. Neither one of these guys has ever finished a fight in the UFC. I'm not gonna pick first this time. I want to remind y'all this Black History Month, and I'm gonna ask y'all who y'all pick.
So I'm glad Teach brought up Black History Month. It's a great month. But Kyle Dawkins is winning this fight. I just tried to peer pressure Teach into picking against that. Kyle Dawkins is absolutely cooking Pickett.
Kyle Dawkins looked great in his last fight that turned out to be a no contest against Kevin Holland, but he was beating the shit out of Kevin Holland before he poked him in the eye. So,
he was beating Kevin Holland.
Yeah, he was beating Kevin
absolutely
Holland.
destroying Kevin Holland.
I gotta go with Kyle Dawkins. I don't know what this guy is.
Black History Month. Now, don't forget that when you make your pick.
I'm
So
sorry.
y'all both taking Dawkins. I'm a proud black man on this podcast. I'm taking the underdog Jamie Pickett because it's Black History Month. I'm taking Jamie Pickett. So y'all both
Jamie
took
Pickett
Dawkins.
is gonna get destroyed. That's not gonna work.
The pride of Pittsburgh, I think he's from. Jamie Pickett, please don't let me down.
So if you're betting, here's your good bet. Take that by submission. Dawkins by submission.
Somebody's gonna have to get their first UFC finish at some point, so it might happen here. I hope Jamie Pickett knock Kyle Dawkins out. Our main event is at light heavyweight. Like I said, Johnny Walker, the number 10 fighter, is a plus 200 underdog against the minus 250 number 12 ranked Jamal Hill. Johnny Walker looked like absolute dirt against when he was in there last time against Santos in the main event, and probably one of the least fun fights ever. These two big ass dudes with all their striking power didn't even touch each other, and they went to a decision which was very nasty. So Johnny Walker left a bad taste in my mouth. And also, Johnny Walker's been around for a long time, and Jamal Hill's relatively new. Jamal Hill, a year older than Johnny Walker, which is a bit weird. Who are y'all picking in this fight? I'm not gonna tell you. Oh, I should say Jamal Hill. His last fight, he knocked out Jimmy Crute in about 40-something seconds. It was phenomenal. But in the fight before that, he was fighting a good fight against Paul Craig, and Paul Craig basically snapped his arm in half. So Jamal Hill now gets a chance to really go improve himself against number 10 Johnny Walker. Fellas, who are y'all picking?
I am very anti Johnny Walker. I don't know what it is about him, but I do not like him. I don't know if it's just like, I don't know, his personality. He gives me off weird vibes. I don't know how to explain it.
That's fair.
Like I don't know. Like you know how I really like comics, and I'm a nerd. Hell, y'all see the little Marvel stuff behind me, but I feel like he gives me off really nerdy black kid vibes. So I just like the annoying kind, like not even the fun kind where it's like, hey, let's talk about it's not even like, hey, let's talk about Iron Man and the MCU. It's just kind of like, hey, did you see this Japanese dub anime? And it's like, all right, bro, cool, thanks. So I'm definitely picking against Johnny Walker here.
Okay, so you got Jamal Hill. G-Day?
I'm gonna go with Jamal Hill because he's got a lot of momentum going into this fight. He lost to Paul Craig, got his arm snapped off, but you said he was winning that fight before that happened. I think he's actually hungrier. So I'll go with Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill just talks a lot of shit. Very cocky fighter. Talk too much shit, but I'll go with him.
this was a big a moment now for Jamal Hill and Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker's already been a main event before. Jamal Hill's his first main event, so there would be that pressure on Jamal Hill in his first main event. But Jamal Hill actually lands more significant strikes per minute than Johnny Walker. They're both big strikers. Jamal Hill, his wrestling got exposed a bit against Paul Craig, but Paul Craig is an elite expert with the grappling and with the groundwork, so I don't think that it is a true sign of how good Jamal Hill is in that area, and Jamal Hill should be better in that area. If the fight does hit the ground, I got Jamal Hill winning it. I got Jamal Hill knocking Johnny Walker's goofy ass out. We're gonna go 3 for 3 here. We are going to pick Jamal Hill to win the fight. And so those are our picks for the Jamal Hill Johnny Walker card, or the main card at least. Is there anybody on the prelims y'all want to shout out? I forgot to give you all that chance.
Oh, let me pull it up. What's the prelim?
They're pretty awful, but
this Saturday.
They just had them up and then they disappeared.
Obviously, there's been a lot of new fighters making debuts and shit. So I don't see anybody on the prelims that I know of.
So there is Gloria De Paula and Deanna, and I don't know how to say her last name right, but listen. What I'm about to say, please don't judge me.
Oh, shit.
But if there's a fight.
I saw her picture and I knew what you were about to say.
If there's a fight I can referee and take in, Herb, if you want to slide out, let your boy slide in, I would let both of them choke me out easily. God. At the same time, please.
Diana Belbita is, if that's how you say her name, is gorgeous on this picture. These fighters don't usually have.
See that good long hair, and then Gloria's got those abs. Please triangle choke your boy.
Diana Belbita is from Romania, and Gloria De Paula is from Brazil. Two very good-looking women. I don't know anything about them in terms of the fighting, but I know Belbita is coming off a win, and De Paula is coming off a loss. That's about all I know. But yeah, I don't know anybody on these prelims, but it'd be the prelims like this where you don't know nobody, where people start getting knocked out crazy. So you
gotta watch out when there's a guy with no picture. Yes. You gotta watch out for that guy that miss your man. You never know.
Miss your man come in there and go crazy. So
I don't know anybody in prelims either.
Me neither. But hopefully some people stand out and make a name for themselves. There's a black man named David Onama who is a favorite against Gabriel Benitez. So we're rooting for David Onama. Come on, David, cook him. I don't know what race Chad Angheliger is because he don't have no picture up.
You know what should happen is this type of fight nights. Instead of doing them on Saturdays, man, do them on Wednesdays or something like that.
Listen, our last episode, we literally talk about this.
Oh, yeah, like seriously, like
that's crazy.
You remember I used to watch like Monday Night Wrestling and Thursday Night SmackDown?
Yep.
They need to do something like that with MMA. If you give me MMA 3 times a week or twice a week, all these fighters will get fights. You don't need to do it in an arena. You could just do it in freaking Vegas.
Or just put it in some random city. Like again, I used to love when they came to random cities.
They about to start traveling around again. There's one coming up in
Columbus.
UK, and there's one coming up in Columbus. So they about to start traveling around for fight nights again, which we really miss. We tired of the Apex, Dana.
Speaking of random cities, I remember when I think UFC went to Greenville, South Carolina.
All right, so I literally just moved from there. I went to that fight.
Stefan was at that.
And the Korean Zombie was headlining. Could you believe that?
That's what my Korean Zombie said.
That's where Stefan was at.
Oh, word. I read that. I was like, wow, this is amazing. All this Greenville, South Carolina is a movie for Korean Zombie. This is amazing.
Okay. So listen, I have to tell people this. I haven't been to every city, but I've been to a few places. Greenville, South Carolina is the most underrated city in the nation.
Why?
It's amazing. I mean, it's literally like if you took the good parts of Charlotte and Atlanta. It's one of the fastest growing cities in the nation.
Oh, wow.
No, you are true. My boy, one of my frat boys from Greenville, South Carolina, he says this too. Like, shout out to Greenville. I'm not disparaging Greenville, South Carolina at all. I'm just saying. It's funny how you go.
I bought one time in Greenville, South Carolina. I was there every weekend. There's a grits bar, the Nosedive. If y'all see this, shout me out because I miss y'all. But they used to give you boys.
Sounds phenomenal. That sounds.
They used to give you unlimited grits with like fresh smoked salmon, chicken, whatever you want. best city. I love that city. I miss Greenville.
Next time they in Greenville, next time USC's in Greenville, South Carolina, I'm trying to pull up, bro. I'm trying to pull up.
There you go.
I'm
We
in
can go to
pull
the
up.
Grits Bar.
I'm in pull up too, man.
I
I'm
want to
pull
go
up
to
to
the Grits
Greenville.
Bar.
But we need to go back to doing it in
attention.
random places like Birmingham. There's so many random places that they used to have them, and now they don't do it anymore. So
hopefully,
get that back, Dana.
Coming out of the pandemic, or I guess we're not coming out of it, but hopefully, as people in these places start to lax their COVID restrictions, and we can get back into the random cities. Because I like being in a random small town in Oregon for a fight night, and all the fans are looking like just like you thought people in Oregon would look like. We need that back. We need that back.
And you pay an arm and a leg for like decent seats. Like I think when I bought my seats, it was like I think I spent like $100, and I was down there, dog. I could have been somebody's corner man. So like, bring that back.
You get some great seats, man.
Dana gonna charge you an arm and a leg now.
All right. Well, we're glad to have my guy G-Day on the pod. G-Day, after I'm done with this outro, I want you to tell me your social where they can follow you when you're watching fights and you're tweeting about fights. G-Day loves MMA, he loves the UFC, so we'll definitely have my guy back on the podcast. Thank you for coming, bro.
All right.
Absolutely, man. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is fun, man. I listen to y'all whenever you guys drop an episode, man. I always listen to you guys. It's always fun.
You guys say that, bro.
You guys say what I want to say, pretty much. You guys always say what I want to say, and I appreciate it. I feel like my voice is being heard.
Well, that's our 14th episode in the can. We appreciate you for tuning in, and we'll be back to recap this card we just gave y'all, which is the Walker Hill card, and we'll be here to preview whatever the hell they're going to do with the formerly Dariush Makhachev card. Hopefully, Islam can stay on that card and fight somebody that's not Bobby Green, and we'll be back to give you a preview for that. And thank y'all for tuning in. We signing off.
All right.